right.
We will have to see, Tempo. Both players obviously going to be gearing up for a macro game of sorts.
Indeed.
But will it be just 3 bases out of our Protoss into a really, really big push? Or is he going to try to go for some quick 2-base play?
Yeah, I kind of wonder too, because Deadwing is a map that does allow you to get that kind of easy to defend third base. But I was actually interested to see that neither of the players opened up the series with a wonky build or, you know, something to throw their opponent off in the early game. Looking like they're sticking to their guns. I was a little bit nervous in the beginning, thinking like, hey, I wonder if, you know, MaSa's going to make 2 racks on, you know, the other side of the map, or it doesn't really work as well in TVP, of course, unless you can get it in the base. Or if puCK was going to do that proxy Oracle. But it looks pretty standard for the most part.
So with fast double Stalker, a Mothership Core, and Warp Gate tech, with a slow second gas, this gas just finished right now for puCK. No quick Stargate play here from puCK. MaSa, up in the top left-hand corner, conversely, has opted to go for a couple of barracks, reactor, and a tech lab. He's going to be starting a really quick stim here, Bo.
Yeah, it looks like it. And I wonder if we are going to see another racks come down or not from here, MaSa. He does have 2 right now, getting those Marines out in case it is that Oracle play. And he is going to get greeted here with this Reaper by the Stalker, but he's going to get some scouting info.
Well, now the Reaper will get inside, and he sees the Mothership Core, and he should be able to, even though he didn't see the Robo, even though he didn't see that Robo, he saw his Stalker, he saw how late the gas was, and he sees the energy on that Mothership Core. That together should be a decent clue that at least your opponent didn't go for the fastest Oracles possible. You know, it's possible he went for slower Oracles, you know, that would have hit about 30 seconds after the second gas completed. Which would mean an Oracle would be spawning in a couple seconds here, but he knows that he doesn't have to worry about one at this very moment, which is a little surprising to me that he's got the Marines sitting in the mineral line. You know, I think he could have read into that enough to maybe not conclude Robo, but to conclude at least that it wasn't a ridiculously fast Stargate.
Indeed, and even seeing that the pylon, the 3rd pylon in the base, he should be able to recognize that as well. So he continues to go ahead and pretty much do his own thing, you know, 2 racks. He's going into very fast medevacs here, actually. So I'm getting it up. The reactor going down on the factory, and the starport getting built very near it. And it's looking so standard right now, you know, puCK doing the same kind of thing. With the Robo, the Observer does come out first. Yeah. And that is, it's already out. He's making a second one as well.
Now, MaSa managed to get a view on the 3 Stalkers there, Tempo, so that's going to give him a little information. He's like, all right, you made a good amount of units, you went for a fast Mothership Core, and you went for a late second gas. I definitely can conclude that you're going for some more standard ground tech units, and so the Robo is going to be a solid read there. Dark Templar would be possible, but pretty unlikely. So I expect to see some fairly quick Vikings here, actually, out of MaSa. I'm thinking maybe he'll make like 4 medevacs and then switch over to Vikings, but we'll have to see. You know, maybe he can get a scan and get more information.
Yeah, for sure. I'm actually very surprised that they're both going this route. You know, it's like, all right, let's test the excuse me, we're going to test each other out and see exactly how we can fare in the macro game. They said that they didn't meet each other too much in the ladder, and you know, that's very interesting to me as well, because usually the top, you know, North American players will tend to meet each other a lot. But it's kind of nice to see that. I feel like maybe they are kind of feeling each other out and seeing, like, I don't know exactly how this guy plays, but I have an idea, perhaps. You know, I might have heard about him on the internet a few times. So, but it's just looking like the most standard PVT. And Deadwing, what better map to do it on? You know, you can get a very, very easy 3 bases. So,
ooh, interesting choice. So MaSa actually did queue up 4 medevacs and then switched into Vikings. Then he canceled the Vikings and went back to medevacs. We'll see what this drop gets him in terms of information, but overall, I would have loved to have seen MaSa start with that medevac or the Viking production, so he'd have a great count against this Colossi.
Indeed. So he's going to try to drop here. There was an observer here to watch this drop drop the whole way.
Yep.
And it's going to get thwarted by puCK. But is there some kind of follow-up? Perhaps a multi-pronged? I don't believe so.
So the 3rd base, I think, makes a lot of sense if you're going to make those extra 2 medevacs, as MaSa just did. Overall, a really smart play. And the reason for this is because the Colossi, when they have to march across the field, you know you're going to have a new Colossus in your base that's not actually with your army. So if MaSa intends to play defensive, which it looks like he does, then making those extra 2 medevacs could work out really nicely for him. In the meantime, he's just continuing to harass, but hasn't managed to really get any substantial damage.
Indeed. And he's just testing it out, you know, seeing exactly what puCK does decide to use to split his army. Because you can fall very quickly if you don't split your army correctly. So I feel like MaSa is doing that, kind of testing his opponent, not overextending at all, definitely moving out, and then that medevac is a little bit low, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he was, you know, stimming in and trying to pick off a Colossus and get out. But here we go, he might even do that right here. Oof.
Doesn't look like he can get the cancel there on that Nexus, though I'm sure he would love to.
For sure. And now that puCK has expanded here, it's a little different than other maps where the third is very, very inaccessible to defend. Because puCK is going to be going ahead and getting Blink right now, so even if, you know, the drops do go in... Oh, here comes MaSa going right in.
Yeah,
multi-pronged as well at the third.
puCK really can't. He can afford to lose a couple probes. This is fine. puCK doesn't mind losing, a worker or two. One worker to that drop. He just needs to protect his third, and it's so vital that he does, because he is actually, like, way saturated in the main and natural. You see him main-arting these probes right now, down 10 of them, going to that third base, and he's got some in his natural as well. He could grab 8 and send him there, instantly saturate this third, and really be on equal economic footing, if not better economic footing than MaSa, because he does in fact have more workers, 66 to just 60.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, both players are on those 3 bases. And yeah, MaSa is down by a few workers, but of course the mules will allow him to stay in on that mineral income. But he's just kind of macroing up. And this, I love these TVPs, you know, because what we're going to see in the late game is going to be their control, how they actually handle the engagements. And, you know, there was no kind of early game, you know, you're dead in the first 10 minutes of the game. This is literally, I feel, gonna map out how maybe the rest of the actual series will turn out, because it will test their multitasking, their engagements, and I can dig it, man. I can dig it.
Here's maybe what we can look at, right? MaSa had said during his interview, he's like, I think puCK will take a game or two with some Oracle cheese and stuff, but otherwise, you know, I'll win 4-2 or so. That means MaSa feels like these macro games belong to him.
Yeah.
And right now, he's actually going for an SCV pull. This is a beautiful time. Look at that Templar Archives just about to finish, but no Storm is going to exist for this engagement. But notably, it's only going to take four force fields to actually cut across from the ramp to your assimilator. Yeah. If puCK is in position, if puCK is watching, right as this happens, you see him morphing in these Archons right now. He's going to try to mount a defense in time.
He is indeed. And here comes MaSa pulling the boys, and the Zealots are going to be charging in. Uh-oh, here they come. The force field's actually not really trying to get out the SCVs, but he's just splitting the army straight up. And you know what? puCK is actually being able to hold a bit here. You know, the SCVs actually haven't been able to get too much damage, but the Vikings kill all of the Colossi.
They did.
Does MaSa have enough?
puCK held that somehow perfectly, and there's no way that this... I mean, he's streaming units across the field, but puCK's economy, untarnished whatsoever. He's got a Colossus back on the field. He's chrono boosting out a second Colossus, and with all those workers
the medevacs.
No chance right now for MaSa. He's going to be fleeing back to his base, but he is going to be at a huge disadvantage. puCK can now take a 4th base and push forward with Templar tech.
Indeed. Oh no, like MaSa, you know, trying to get a little bit of damage done. He did get those high-tech units out. But like you said, the economy was untarnished. Nothing really was touched there for puCK. You know, it was an attack. They traded, and puCK got the actual better hand of that. So now Maru had a bit of Maru Kim. That is, you know, MaSa. He's going to be at a little bit of an economic disadvantage, but how is he going to hold this in our next push out here from puCK?
Well, puCK doesn't need to push right now. That's the thing. And puCK shouldn't push. He's only got 1 Colossus with this army. I like that he's doing little skirmishes out in the middle, but puCK does not quite want to push up all the way up into the ramp yet. You see a probe coming across the map to build a proxy pylon, a 4th base going down for puCK. puCK wants to deny the 4th from MaSa, contain him on these 3 bases, while he works on upgrading his tech. In the meantime, the Widow Mines are proving problematic.
Wow, yeah.
Wants to make sure he stabilizes back at home, takes that 4th, gets all the tech he wants, and lets this +3 armor and +3 weapons finish.
All right. Indeed, so he's kind of being a threat here. Making sure that MaSa does not take a 4th. Oh my god, he's going to go right in. He's blinking up. He's going to take out one of the Vikings. Another Viking goes down. GG will be called, and almost instant.
We must move quickly, for early aggression is about to transpire against this man in the top right-hand corner of the map in the teal. He is not Zerg, he is not Terran, but rather he is Protoss, and his name is...
puCK!
Yes, that, from IVD Gaming. But tell me, Tempo, who is his very Y chromosome-oriented opponent?
Well then, sir, good sire, he is spawning in the western hemisphere of Catayena, as you did say. It is going to be a red Terran player representing Root, who is also based out in that western hemisphere of the United States of America. It is... MaSa!
I thought you were going to stop at he is also based. And just
Yo,
leave
he
it,
is quite...
leave it at that. Base Terran player, MaSa.
Based Reaper here getting quite a few kills. As we did see that proxy barracks. And I like it, you know? It's that Reaper usually doesn't get too many kills, but you know, setting puCK behind a bit economically. MaSa's not really committing fully to it.
Nexus. So that Nexus just rocked puCK's world. But you know, at the end of the day, 5 workers lost. None of these tabs make any sense to me. This is hard. Having been a StarCraft 2 observer who has never worked with the WCS GameHard interface, it is certainly not. I don't know how to find workers, Tempo.
Oh, I don't know either.
Income doesn't do it. It doesn't
Control A, bam.
Ah, yeah, there we go. Even workers.
But look at this though, a lot of damage being done. 21 to 18, 3 Reapers are on the map, and he's not stopping there either. Another one, 4. How much damage do you think is actually going to get done here? He's actually going to, I guess, augment this push with the Marine. Marine saying, "I wish I had jetpacks, man. Come on, yo." But he'll get there eventually.
Wait until he upgrades these Reapers to have the D8 charges, or is that what it's called? You remember?
Oh, the ones with the extra damage to the buildings. Yeah.
Yeah.
That Marine saying, "Welp, I can't regenerate like you guys. The stim pack actually takes my health down, while your drugs make you have more HP in the long run." But look at that, 4 Reapers again. Uh-oh, puCK is actually out of position.
And alright, 1 Reaper does go down to a photon overcharge. But now, well, still basically equal workers for the 2 guys. Terran players slightly ahead due to mules in terms of economy.
But look at the south portion of the map here. The one thing that MaSa may have been fearing. Uh-oh. Not paying attention to his army here, but also on the south portion of the map, there are a little, you know, some buildings here that aren't in the base of the Protoss player. A pylon gonna be allowing the warping in of this Stargate. And I think this is the last thing that MaSa may be expecting here.
puCK just lost all of his stalkers, but he killed all the Reapers and a Marine for it. So might be fairly even in that regard. And you know, the fact that he killed all the Marines, as a scan goes down to the main base, revealing nothing but a probe transfer.
Uh-oh, that may be actually the information that he needs.
That might be. Will MaSa be prepared for the Oracles now?
Yeah, we're gonna find out as that Oracle does head out. Well, it's actually gonna wait for his buddy. Uh-oh, though, puCK looking to be a little bit supply blocked here. Oracle number 1 has already completed.
Oh man, MaSa's going for a big drop. He's not leaving that many Marines at home. 1 more Widow Mine is on the way, and that could make the difference between utter defamation of MaSa's economy and and a solid defense.
But here he comes. It's going to be the drop coming in. puCK does have enough energy for a photon overcharge, and I think he's going to be able to do it. You know, he did have to waste that energy, but like you said, that Widow Mine, there's no robo here, there's no detection.
Yeah, man. As Avila would say in his loss against Parting, one-click defense from puCK was ward off MaSa's attack.
To quote the wise words of Avila.
Right. But right now, what I want to look at is these oracles coming in to the economy of MaSa in the main base. 4 workers already down. 6, 7. Count continues to go up. Widow Mine trying to come in, but the SCVs fleeing on the north side of the production facilities. They were a little exposed there for a moment. puCK not able to pick up any additional kills, however. 9 workers killed overall.
Not bad. Maru, if I say Maru one more time.
Just
MaSa,
go with it, man.
Yeah, I might as well.
puCK Brandon. It's all good.
Brando.
Oh!
Whoa!
That Oracle looks beautiful against the black template that I see on my screen.
Right? But keep in mind that the Widow Mine is still here. The only detection that puCK does have, or Brandon does have, is going to be the Oracle in order to use that detection. That's it.
All right, puCK looking like he's getting a little bit discombobulated now.
No,
Look
he
at
doesn't
his workers in his main base. Nah, he does fix them. Kills off the Widow Mine. Is he going to be able to stabilize? There's a push coming into his natural right now. He doesn't have enough energy for a photon overcharge.
He doesn't, and he doesn't have any units. Oracles are good and all, but if they get picked out very quickly, it's not going to be enough, and puCK is going to fall to Roots MaSa, tying up the series to 1-1.
Looks like MaSa's the one who's going to take the games when he goes.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, folks. We are in the building. Going to be spawning in game number 3 of the grand finals of the ASL Ascended StarCraft League. A TVP between these two teams, Root and IVD, but the player representing Root and rocking them purple trunks and tank top, it is going to be MaSa. Bam.
Alrighty. Well, he's going to be opening with a very quick command center. His opponent's in the top left-hand corner of the map. From IVD Gaming, give it up for our blue Protoss player.
puCK. Sloopy. I really wish his name was Sloopy. Oh, you know what? We messed up, man. We messed up. I'm gonna tell you why we messed up. We had an interview with this guy here, Mr. Brandon Quall, and we didn't ask him why Sloopy. Why Sloopy, man? I dropped the ball. I dropped it.
That's for the post game when he wins. Right?
Oh, indeed. So now no bias, not because he's IVD, not because but just because I want to ask him why Sloopy.
You know, it's funny. I was thinking of this just a minute ago. Actually, hold that thought.
Okay.
Got a really fast starport here.
Oh wow, you're right.
Super fast starport from MaSa. Now he doesn't have Marines to back this up. Is this just gonna be a Marine Hellion drop?
I think it might be. It's looking like it. I like this kind of style actually. Very aggressive, and if your opponent is not aware and not ready for it, he could take quite a bit of damage. You know, the photon overcharge will go on one of the bases, but even with a Zealot and a Stalker there, Hellions can do a lot of damage to the probe line.
You know, we were talking earlier about this kind of opening, though, with Avilo versus Parting.
Yeah.
And this is basically the same opening that Avilo did that game.
Okay.
It's just really light pressure Hellion Marine drop. But beautiful body blocking there from MaSa, actually hitting on the collision radius of the Stalkers with the Hellions. Hellions do get surrounded by probe, taking a lot of damage. Oh my god, that was scary for a moment. But still, a couple of probes definitely go down. 5, in fact.
And that's not even like the actual pressure, you know? That's like stage 1. And he's doing it in little bits.
Alright, well, that's beautiful. Because now the medevac's going to arrive.
Indeed.
In just a minute here. And Photon Overcharge was just used at the natural. And so that means there's not going to be a Photon Overcharge in the main when this drop hits.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I'm wondering, there's no units in the main for puCK either.
Yeah, puCK needs to move these units up into the main base. And he is.
There we go.
Good call from puCK. Good read. Because he realizes, hey, my Photon Overcharge has got things covered down here, and now he sees the medevac. He sees the medevac on the right-hand side. Yeah, and a good read here. At least puCK won't take additional damage from his perspective, but...
Ooh. Definitely has enough, even if MaSa was able to drop there. I feel like that's enough units, so... A little bit of damage done, you know? He didn't lose too much. 7 workers killed.
Yeah.
But how many Hellions at the cost of... Only 3 Hellions. That's not bad at all, so...
Look at this, though. Siege tank on the left-hand side.
Ooh.
This is this is now much more committed out of MaSa.
Forces another Photon Overcharge.
He forces it, but at the same time, that means nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
All of us hate the cable companies more anyway, so...
Thanks, Obama.
Alright, guys,
at the end of the day.
Yeah, here we are. puCK's trying to battle his way out right now, destroying the destructible debris. He's since stopped mining off of this assimilator, and it looks like we are back into this game full throttle.
Indeed, and it is going... puCK is going to be breaking down those rocks in order to mount some kind of attack eventually. Makes me wonder if he's going to do a dual pronged or anything.
Look at this decision from puCK in the top right-hand corner.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Taking a third.
Muy interesante.
I like it. Because MaSa, you know, doing this, he's not trying to end the game by any means at all. So, will he scout that, though? Does he know? Oh, he does scout it. But here comes a drop here from MaSa into the main. He's not going to get too much done with it as puCK does warp in. Oh, he might have been losing the medevac.
No, still no blink for puCK, so he's not able to quite pick that off. And I think that's the big delay that puCK is seeing right now. But his third base is still super early, and so MaSa, I mean, taking a look at the worker supply for these guys, MaSa is currently down on workers. His third is a little later than puCK's, you know, good 30 seconds or so behind. I am not liking MaSa's position very much right now. Actually,
no, there was
I'm really hating his position.
Ooh! Oh, okay, it didn't do too much. There was a Widowmine drop in the natural here, Kibbles. I didn't see it, but it did only get 2 kills.
That might have helped bring him back to a certain degree, but now there are observers pretty close by. Yeah, that Widowmine will not get a second shot.
No. So down goes the Widowmine, 2 kills, not bad. Forcing some mining time to be lost, of course, but MaSa, you know, he's setting up macro behind it.
He is, but he's at the same time going for a really big Doom drop, and I love this decision, but here's the thing. puCK is really good, man, and he's got an observer in position to see these medevacs coming. So although MaSa is going for a really gutsy and great play, well, did puCK see the medevacs going by? Was he looking at his minimap? Because he should have just seen those 3 medevacs dropping.
Yeah. Oh my god. I don't think he's going to react. He's... Yeah, there's nothing in the main right now. There are 3 Stalkers and 3 Zealots are not going to be able to help. They're going to try to buy some time for the army to get here. But oh god, here comes the army of puCK, and MaSa is going to pick up. Will he lose a medevac? He does lose 1.
Yeah, but he got into some economic damage, and, you know, that wasn't too bad. The worker supply still 10 in the lead for puCK between the faster third and the chrono boost. But overall, that wasn't like a staggering defeat for MaSa, like it could have been if puCK had scouted those medevacs with this observer.
Indeed. So, but I think he's gonna lose the cybernetics core.
He will.
Not the biggest deal, but I mean,
yeah,
definitely does suck.
He was able to get down a couple of Stalkers though before that mothership core, or that, cyber core did go down. So now it looks like puCK is gonna be moving forward. There's a forward pylon, kind of. He's making over towards his 4th. Does that mean he's gonna go for a super fast 4th base, or is he planning on pushing here?
I am not sure. He definitely could be. And it makes me wonder, like, snipe the Cybercore to force him to warp Stalkers. I know you do like to warp Stalkers anyway, but imagine if it was like the metagame. It's like, you're not gonna warp in Zealots here, but... Anyway, here comes a big drop here from MaSa. Not really the drop, that's just the drop from before. Now a force to be reckoned with on the map.
Yeah, and I mean, like you just said, it's the exact same force, man. Like, MaSa's doing a great job of capitalizing on the mobility of his army and the lack of map awareness that puCK is really exhibiting right now. Like,
the
fact that all these drops haven't been seen. Oh, it is time.
It is. The boys have been
We're back in town.
They are back in town, because if you were here for game number 1, you would have known that MaSa did pull the boys. And now King Sejong is the new stomping grounds, because here they come, pulling a lot more than he did before. He only pulled about, 20 last time. This is a bit more than 20 kibbles.
Yeah, I think that puCK needs to just, like, let go of his natural here and run these probes down these back rocks that we saw. It looks like he's going to try to hold it, but no sentries, only a couple of Archons, a lot of Vikings for MaSa. I do not see this fight going puCK's way, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think he's going to have the best of luck this time. MaSa waiting a bit, letting the Vikings do their damage, and now here comes that buffer for that Bioforce that MaSa does have. The workers have dropped drastically for MaSa, but is he going to be able to do it here? 111 to 94 supply. The Nexus does go down. Oh my god. MaSa are stimmed to death. Is he going to be able to kill these units?
Yeah, the medevacs have tons of energy, and so if MaSa needs to, he can just wait a second, stay at the bottom, let everything rejuvenate, and then push up, but he doesn't even need to do that. He's going to close out this game here in the next minute or two, and puCK needed to read that attack, realize that there was no way he was going to hold it without sentries, evacuate that natural, move his army into the main, and then I think play the protective game with the third, because then he'd have a little more time to build up a couple more Archons and maybe another Colossus. But overall, MaSa takes. GG.
Well played. Really cool game from MaSa. Showing that, you know, passive is not his style at all. We saw Deadwing, the most passive game from him. And now he's starting to...
Rhyme with Hex, Tempo, and Duck. And those are such innocent words.
Yeah.
So it's okay. You can just say, you've got more.
Well, let's just say that this game is going to be a macro game, hopefully, because of the map layout. And the previous games were only foreplay to what this will be, because it is going to be our players spawning in the top left corner of the map, representing IVD Gaming. It is your very own puCK.
And his opponent on the right-hand side of the map, he has reason to be afraid this time around. Give it up for
MaSa. Speaking of 4, dude, there's a pigeon outside of my door, and he needs to chill out, man. Or window, rather, not door.
pigeon?
Yeah, he's just like...
Like a real pigeon?
Yeah, it sounds like the nematode call from Doug. Like cuckoo. But anyways, looks like we're gonna be looking. I believe MaSa went for the CC first here. Actually, you know, no gas opener here from MaSa. We usually see him opening with a Reaper, sometimes multiple Reapers, but he's actually gonna be going for that CC first. Yeah, the orbital commands are gonna be going down on both of them, and triple racks follow up. Just making sure that Oracles will not be ruining his day. But in the world of puCK, he went for a more standard, you know, gateway into Cybernetics core, and then his Nexus, I believe.
Hey, have you ever heard the song by Powerman 5000, When Worlds Collide?
Yeah. Dude, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. Come on, man.
Oh my god, these workers just skirted around each other perfectly. That was a one-man pass, and they didn't. Oh my god!
What?
Right, because if MaSa had actually seen that probe, like that would be just so different.
Yeah.
But he didn't see the probe, and so this ridiculous base goes down.
He wasn't paying attention, and like, you know those
they
SUVs in the
they didn't see each other. They barely passed outside of the vision radiuses.
And you know what's really cool about this actually is that even if MaSa was paying attention to the probe, he's looking at proxy locations, proxies for a Stargate, not for a Nexus, guys. So the last thing he's gonna expect is that there are Nexus going down on this other side of the map.
I don't know if that's the last thing he would expect. Like the last thing he would expect would be like a brood lore, like a greater spy thing, you know, something like that.
Fuck, man,
or like an Ari like appearing on the map.
Out of, or like an Arthas, yeah.
Yeah, like suddenly Diablo spawns as the final boss on the Zelnaga tower in the middle and like starts firing like laser beams out at your bases.
You'd be like, what is going on?
And then the whole map turns into a flower.
Yeah. And then
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy reference there if you don't know it. I think that is the last thing he would expect. But a Nexus is certainly not the first thing on his mind.
Yeah, for sure.
And Brad Pitt arriving at his computer desk to shove him out of the way. Nay, rather to place an octopus under his arm that would paralyze him with its toxins.
But he's also wearing a V for Vendetta mask that has been replaced with a Kappa instead.
Now we're getting to the last thing you would expect.
Yeah, and I don't think this is anything that puCK would, that MaSa would expect, rather. But you know what? MaSa doesn't give a damn. He's gonna go ahead and do his regular pressure push, and this is like a test push, literally saying, "Hey, what's up? What's going on? How you doing? You got units? Well, I got some Marines here that have combat shield."
puCK missed the force fields and takes a lot of damage and lets a full scout go down that gives away a lot of information. That force field changed everything right away.
It did. And now he doesn't have any more force fields because he did lose those sentries. But MaSa feels like he can't push the issue. He sees everything that he wanted to see and wonders why maybe puCK didn't have as many units. And maybe he'll just think like, hey, he must be shook. I'm up 2-1. Maybe he's a little shaky. But little does he know that there's a Nexus mining. So I think puCK can take those losses and be able to come back.
The thing that puCK doesn't have right now that puCK could have right now is Colossus tech on the way, which he may have just started right now. Yeah, he just started it. And like that could be done, and you know, Colossi could be being produced. And so it's perfectly fine that MaSa got in there, he saw the forge, he didn't see any Colossi, he's just like, okay, like I killed some sentries, that was nice. Now he's gonna push up the ramp again. puCK really needs to hit this force.
This one, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a force field only,
that would give it away.
I agree. But you know, MaSa, okay. He must be thinking something's weird. Maybe not.
I still don't think he knows what's going on. Like, at this point, he just is expecting that there's Colossi. He may push up or scan to, like, see Colossi. If he sees no Colossi, like, if he saw that robotics bay wasn't complete, then he'd be like, okay, you've got something really weird going on.
But, like, what do you think as a Terran player? You know, I mean, I know the map is an Nimbus, right? It's a big map.
Nothing looks weird
do stuff. Like,
that's the thing.
Are you thinking, oh, is it going to be DTs? Or, like,
no.
Do you really think...
He's thinking puCK has Colossi, man. He hasn't seen that he doesn't yet.
True.
When he pushes up... and
Dude, he should hallucinate a Colossus. Oh my god, that'd be so sick.
Yeah, that would be really sick, actually. That's a really good point. That would have been a great idea. So the scan goes down. He sees no extended thermal landscape research and no Colossi. And that should be enough now. Now MaSa should have a clue that something is wrong.
Yes. puCK is not your average Joe either, so it's not like he's just like, you know, walked away from his computer, but he may be in a bit of trouble. That's a lot of bio, but the first Colossus does come out, and that's not a hallucination. That's not a halluc.
No, it's not. Photon Overcharge, though, in the natural base is going to push these medevacs out, and there's still enough energy there on that mothership core for a second one. And down at that hidden base, it's beginning to get saturated. And this is a large economic advantage for puCK right now. If he can hold on and not fall here to the continued pressure of MaSa, then puCK is going to be in a far superior position than his opponent.
Yeah, for sure. But MaSa's the type of player that's not going to let you sit back at all. And Terran doesn't do that in the matchup either. So, I mean, you put 2 and 2 together and, you know, you see MaSa pushing up your ramp. And he thinks that he's denying puCK his third. But, you know, he's just going to continue to do what he does against Protoss. He doesn't have any Vikings yet, and these are the first ones that are being produced around the map. But like in MaSa's head right now, he's saying, "You're getting denied a third. I'm getting my third up. Things are looking pretty good for me right now."
Yeah. Yeah, MaSa, see, at this point, MaSa should really feel like something is wrong. Because he didn't do any early game damage that puCK would be in this position, not able to take a third base.
Take a third, yeah.
Like, MaSa this is a classic position that you're at in any game that is competitive like this. When your opponent is oddly behind for no explainable reason.
Yeah.
You either have two things that you're saying in your head. One, something is wrong. Two, my opponent is playing poorly. And you never want to assume that your opponent is playing poorly, because if you make that assumption and you're wrong, you lose. If you make that assumption and you are correct, if you make the wrong assumption and you guess that something's wrong and your opponent's actually playing poorly, well, you just win. So MaSa makes the right call here and finds this hidden base.
Wow. He's going to go right to it, though. And a lot of the workers are going to be going down right now, and the Nexus will go down because there is no defense here at all. And that is that kind of, sense of saying something is weird? You know?
Yeah. I mean, it was a great read from MaSa, because he, like we were just talking about, man, you know what, I think we actually already pretty much beat it into the ground. Observer flying over these Widow Mines right now. puCK should go kill us before his skin goes down and kills that Observer. And there it is. Oh no, he actually stands on the army. But MaSa has a great position right now because he has a third base. He didn't just lose, 23 workers.
Out of nowhere, yeah. There was not like a trade for it either. Usually when the third goes down for a Protoss player or a Terran player, any game, it is a trade that happens. That was just a free base with a lot of probes behind it. And here comes a drop as well in the natural. puCK is going to find himself a little bit hard pressed to actually defend this.
A lot of it hard pressed tempo. I don't know how he's going to deal with it. He's not. He loses his natural expansion. He does manage to hold on to this, constructing third. But MaSa now is just going to be able to pick puCK apart.
Yeah, that was like pretty much puCK's ace in the hole, I feel like, and it would have paid off. I think it would have. But MaSa was thinking that it was just too weird. Something weird is going on.
Yeah. What I think puCK needed to do was be pushing the issue. Because MaSa felt MaSa was like, why are you just hunkered up in your natural and totally okay with it? Like, if you're really trapped on two bases, puCK, you're not going to be okay with it. You're going to be trying to shove down because
it's going to be like a
you know that every second that ticks by, you're falling more and more behind. So you're not going to let the seconds tick by. You're going to force a play and you're going to force it now. puCK didn't do that. And so when puCK didn't do that, MaSa was like, well, if you're not going to force down your ramp, then you've got something up your sleeve. And then he started looking for it.
Decent engagement, with the storms, but that is really all that puCK had going for him.
Yeah,
I think that MaSa just has a overwhelming supply lead right now.
Well, when we said it, man, like, he lost his natural base. He lost those 23 workers. MaSa has an immeasurable advantage right now. It's just a matter of time until he's able to close this series out, barring any, catastrophic blunders.
Yeah.
And actually just loses. That wasn't an observer. I think that was a stalker. Lost a stalker.
Well, puCK is in a rough position. MaSa is about to be maxing out right now. And Storm's good, Kibbles, but it's not that good.
No, and it's really bad when you split up your forces like MaSa's doing right now. He's going to send a bunch of units into the natural, and puCK's going to have no way to deal with this at all. He's sending them back. I don't particularly like that, just because, the biggest storms in the world could kill him. But if MaSa is just, not... If he's still in his chair, then he'll still win this.
True. Even if he just, hit a move and then decided to leave his chair, maybe so, but...
There's 4 storms available here in just a second. In, 10 more seconds, there's 4 storms. And I think if he won aid, 4 storms would actually kill that whole bio army if it was all together, but...
Yeah, and you have to understand here as well. puCK has got his third up. He just needs to hold on. He needs to buy the time. Yeah, he lost his natural. It does suck, but he's down in so much supply.
He doesn't have any Colossi against a relatively Vikingless Terran player.
Yeah, it's just not looking great. If he were to get those money storms, yeah, maybe so. If he's able to get this natural secured again, but it's a little too much, and MaSa will be able to take game number 5 or game number.
As you fizzle. That's how it goes. I forgot, Tempo. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Well, folks, we are in game number 5 right now, and this could be very well the last game. And it may be a very quick one because of what we see here. But before we do that, let us go ahead and introduce these 2 players, man, because we need to do it very quickly. Spawning in the bottom left corner of the map, representing Root for Root, it is our red Terran player, MaSa.
Like you said, Tempo, it's game woo. And it's all on the line because MaSa is currently leading MaSa T. Watching Firefly lately. Have you ever watched Firefly?
puCK. I haven't. Oh man, I need to watch a lot of shows.
Oh, this is my second time watching Firefly. You do need to watch Firefly, man. But this is different than what we saw on Game 1 in Catalina.
Yes.
This is quite different.
And like the thing that makes me wonder, like, I don't think puCK would be expecting this at all. You know, we saw the Reaper, the Proxy Reaper on Catalina.
It's not Zealot, dude. Like, you really, really want a Zealot versus this.
He will now, though. He's going to find out exactly what the heck is going on. He's going to go to MaSa's base and say, hey, it looks like a command center first, right? Wrong, because there's no command center on the way. There's only 10 workers here. If it was a command center first, there would be a lot more workers mining here. So puCK has to realize exactly what's going on. Wouldn't be surprised if he scouted his own base.
So right now, like, he's 100% sure at this point. Proxy 2 Rex, that's what I'm being hit with. We see Orbital boosting out a Stalker.
Well, this is a little interesting position for a bunker, like a fallback point, but he's going to be able to start to put the pressure on right now, trying to end it a little bit early. puCK getting that mothership core, but it will not have enough energy to do the photon overcharge at all.
I don't think these 3 Marines are doing enough for no Stalker on the map. Like, he could have gotten in a lot more damage by now, but he effectively has done nothing. MaSa's playing this really safe, and I don't think safe is the way to go when you open with a 2 Rex.
You know what he's doing?
Just
he's not
natural.
Yeah, exactly. He's making SCVs. He's continuing to make SCVs. So I think it's more of a denying tactic as opposed to like win the game, put a bunker at your nexus. Making puCK overcommit and maybe force him down a tech path that he wouldn't want to do. But at the end of the day, puCK does have a probe on the map, and he has the capability of warping in buildings that can produce other units that can get to the base of MaSa, where he does not have any defense.
I feel like this position is really well known and obvious, though. I wouldn't be surprised if MaSa manages to scout it. It's really, really far away, so it won't be the first pylon position, but or the only one.
Yep. He did scout out the 3rd location.
Oh.
Didn't see it though.
Oh. Yeah, and the SCV actually was just queued to walk down there, and he's going to see this Stargate, and it's going to be denied, and puCK is going to be in for a world of trouble because he hasn't gone for gateways. He hasn't made lots of things in order to deal with this.
Yeah, at all. And you know, I mean, this is a perfect response, I would say, would be to go for the Stargate. You know what I mean? Like, that is literally the best thing you can do. There's no Marines at home. The barracks are making units at the other side of the map. Oh no, it goes down. And before photon overcharge, and 3 Marines are going to get in, maybe get a few probe kills.
He lets the Stargate finish. Now he's sending down the Marines. He's actually going to kill this pylon before anything gets made. puCK in a horrible position right now in game number 5 with the match on the line right now for him. He's going to have to pull off a miracle to make this work, Tempo.
Indeed. He's going to go ahead and just try to macro out of it, you know, putting down the Nexus at the natural. But MaSa already has his command center done. He's floated his building back.
He built a bunker so that the Marines can't be kited by 2 to 3 Stalkers. Really, really intelligent here from MaSa to make sure that this Stargate goes down. I mean, the cost is minimal. You know, like these Stalkers, they actually would have been able to harass these Marines and potentially save it, but not anymore.
Wow. Next level plays coming out of MaSa there. And that does also secure the fact that he does get that Stargate down.
Yep. And like the probe was ready, the zealots, the stalkers, the mothership core, puCK would have actually saved that Stargate in all likelihood.
It
But
maybe
because of
killed
that
all of
bunker, it
those
wasn't
Marines as
possible.
well. You know?
Yeah. And now the Stargate's dead, and at the end of the day, MaSa only pays 25 minerals for it.
Yeah. So, now that the position that both players are in, both bases are done. But MaSa has not begun to mine from his natural just yet. You know, he's actually doesn't have that. He only has 27 workers to the 30 of puCK. So puCK, you may seem like it's a bad position because he lost the Stargate. Yeah, you know, he denied his natural for so long, but also MaSa's position, he denied his natural for so long as well. So you can tell by the SCV count. Yeah, he does have the mules, but he's
The
not
big
mining.
problem I see with puCK's position is tech. Like his tech, because of that Stargate and the fact that it made nothing and did nothing and then got killed, his
Yeah.
robo is so much later. And his gateway count is only 3, you know, even though he's got a robotics bay on the way. So puCK's economy is really good, but Colossi aren't going to be made until maybe... I mean, he needs... Actually, MaSa doesn't have a reactor on this starport, so the Vikings won't be quite as early as they could have been.
Yeah. But the thing is, you know, I feel like it's such a weird position, you know. I don't think anybody's like behind or ahead at this point in time. The tech for both players are later. Oh my god, there's a Widowmine. Ooh. In the main. So really nice defense here from puCK. Gonna ward that away. But I was gonna say, like, you know, the tech is denied as for both of them, it's delayed. Where they're kind of hitting at the same time anyway. You know, the Colossus will be on the map before the first medevac is on. Oh, okay, I lied, because here comes a medevac right now.
I'm so ridiculously impressed by that bunker. Like,
I know.
that gives me a lot of excitement around next season from MaSa. Just those kinds of levels of plays, like anticipating your opponent's reaction to something that you're doing on the opposite side of the map, and all of the things from scouting that Stargate to realizing that the Stalkers and Mothership Core were enough of a force to push out to stop him from killing that Stargate, or at least kill off the Marines. All of it just screams a really, really solid... that MaSa has been playing enough times that he can anticipate stuff like that. And
Indeed.
just really smart from him, man.
Yep. And I like, though, that puCK did not overreact either. He just said, okay, I'm just going to macro out of this. You know, didn't feel like he had to all in afterwards or anything.
Yeah.
Got his base up. But, you know, I like the fact that MaSa plays in this way where you would think that he was going for the early 2 racks in order to end the game and say, hey, you know what, I'm up 3 games. I might as well, up 2 games rather, 3-1, and just go ahead and end the game. But, you know, he said, no, I'm just going to use it to kind of throw you off, get like a tiny bit ahead, and that's what he's been doing this whole series. We go back to the Deadwing game where he didn't do anything to try to get ahead and just said, I'm going to go toe-to-toe in macro. But MaSa, he has these builds, and you see it in TVZ as well, where he just... man, I don't know. It's very, very methodical in the stages of the game. But puCK, you know, definitely not... you're going to be a victim this game, 100%, as he has... he's got up his tech, you know? It's getting Blink. The big boy style with the Stalker and Colossus.
So, you know, right now, 1-1, actually, for MaSa. puCK's currently working on getting a second forge up so that he can kind of try to match that, because he's not even done with +1 weapons here. He does have the armor upgrade, however.
Yeah.
But I'm really afraid for what I think is going to be another pull the boys choo-choo train from MaSa here.
That would be a great choice, I think, if MaSa were to pull the boys. Because puCK is in a very vulnerable spot right now. He's trying to hold his main with the Stalkers in case a drop came, and then his third in case, you know, another push came. But if he pulled the boys, there's not going to be enough on each side, and I think a lot of damage could be done for sure. I mean, MaSa's only on 48 workers. What happened here? Kibbles, look, 48 workers to 62. puCK has been macroing, like he has been getting a lot of probes out.
Yeah, just a lot of chrono boosts on those next eye. But that slowed down his upgrades consequently. You know, that's why we see 2-2 is starting now, but on MaSa's side of the field, he could have had 2-2 quite some time ago. It looks like he opted to, you know, not go for a second engineering bay. Instead, he's just going for weapons, which is really telling me he's just going to go for a big attack, because what doesn't your bio need if you have a bunch of SCVs in the way?
Yeah.
You know, they don't really need armor. Your SCVs are what are going to be dying, and that's fine. But with the +1, you know, ship weapons and the +2 attack with no armor, he's going for Ghost Academy, though. So that kind of points away from, you know, what we were just discussing, as well as this, well, the second starport.
Yeah,
maybe MaSa does intend to play a macro game, but if so, I think he's going to fall behind in upgrades without a second engineering bay.
yeah, he needs to put that down. He's only going to be on, what, 2-1? Yeah, he will be on 2-1 when puCK finishes 2-2. So it's very, very important to note that as well. But, I mean, the fact that he's going for that macro game, and you know it because he's producing 3 ghosts at a time, and adding that second starport, as you said, it's just... He's just going for that really late game, and we'll see how it works out for him. Because we saw it on Deadwing that it didn't work out, but this was not the same situation as Deadwing, as we said it before. Oh my God, the boys. All
right, so he does pull him. Ghost Academy, you know, a little surprising to me in that case because he doesn't really get to. Well, he's got 2 ghosts, so or 3 even, so he'll land a couple of EMPs. All right. This is what we are expecting, and it's going to be crazy powerful.
3 ghosts with this as well. What is puCK going to do?
I don't know, man. I don't see puCK holding this. He doesn't have sentries once again.
Alrighty, well, here we go. The Concave is not that good for MaSa, and the Zealots are actually hugging these Marines, and they are just going to work on them. A lot of damage, though, being done by these Vikings to these Colossi.
Exactly, and now the Vikings are going to land and actually do a little with the Stalkers here. And after MaSa picks off this Colossus, nothing really left for puCK. He's got a couple workers.
Look at the supply. Yes, it looks like MaSa's down, but the army supply is what tells the story. 70 to 47 in MaSa's favor. So the longer that puCK holds on, the better it's going to be for him. He needs to not lose any of his army here. He needs to continue to build it. Because he has a better economy.
Yeah, but there's nothing he's really going to be able to get done. He doesn't even have a Colossus being produced. All he can do is make another Archon. He's got 4 Stalkers in his main that he seems to have forgotten about, so I'll definitely bring those down. But, yeah, he's got one last fight, and I don't see it being enough here, Tempo. There's just too much stuff for MaSa.
There's so much, but the army supplies are very, very close. A nice flank coming down here from puCK with these Zealots, and now... It looks like puCK is starting to hold on, but at what cost? He's lost 2 of his Nexi.
Yeah.
And Archons are very good against Bio. He has the upgrade lead. He does. And he's starting to take the supply lead. These 4 Stalkers could be very, very beneficial if they were to come. But, I mean, yes, puCK lost both of them, but I think he's held.
Yeah, he holds, but mules are everything. Like, they allow you to trade workers with your opponent and then have a ridiculously good economy compared to them. Because when players are down to, you know, 6, 7 workers, 6 mules, like, quadruples your economy. Whereas, you know, when you have high worker counts, they don't really make a big difference. So MaSa makes the right decision. Yeah, abandon his 3rd, just try to keep that orbital alive, and then just hold. He can lose even more SCVs holding this off. All he has to do is snipe that Archon, and then he'll stomp all over this meager force of puCK. puCK just doesn't have a way to make units right now. And although he held, you know, that attack in stellar fashion, he lost too much economy. And MaSa's got mules, man. They're tripling his economy right now, and there's nothing that puCK's going to do about it.
The longer it goes now, the time game is working against puCK. Before it was for him. But yeah, he hasn't even rebuilt the natural, hasn't rebuilt the 3rd.
And he can't afford it, is the thing.
Yeah.
You know? That's exactly what MaSa wanted. MaSa wanted to lose every single worker that he owned and kill every single worker of puCK's. If that happened, MaSa wins, no question.
Yep.
And that's almost what happened.
Indeed. The final stand coming here from MaSa, well, from puCK. Not a final stand, but a final attack. And MaSa will be your first season